have Ashmit, our legal reporter, joining us very soon. Okay, Ashmit, if you are with us, give us the background. What kind of is this just a sentimental relief that your top officials are not going to be taken by the ED and coerced into answering anything?
So as of now, the arguments, I believe, are still underway. It hasn't reached a degree of finality. What we do understand is that Sun TV finds itself in a slightly precarious position. They appealed before the Supreme Court, seeking a stay on the Enforcement Directorate's order for attachment of assets. But importantly, the bench that is hearing this matter today held that only the 2G bench of the Apex Court, which includes the Chief Justice of India, is entitled to hear this matter. And that led to a certain degree of confusion. And to resolve this confusion, what we understand is that this bench of the Apex Court has asked the Enforcement Directorate to consider not taking any coercive action against Sun TV until more clarity is arrived at, until this matter is taken by the 2G bench, which would invariably mean till Monday. So that is one issue that ED is seeking clarity on and will come back with a reply by 12:45 and will submit the reply whether or not they will be taking any coercive action against Sun TV. Of course, this coercive action that is being spoken of refers to a final order that is likely to be passed today itself. That is what Sun TV has been claiming so far. The Enforcement Directorate had passed a draft order for attachment based on the allegations that illegal gratification to the extent of 750 crore rupees had been pocketed by the Maran brothers as a part of the Airtel-Maxis deal. Sun TV on its part is claiming that this order of attachment, final order, which is likely to be passed today, is likely to freeze their assets worth over 1,000 crores. So that's the worry on their part. ED, we expect, will give us more clarity by 12:45 on whether or not they will be going ahead taking any course of action. But that's the sentiment, that's the sense that we're getting. That's the message that the Supreme Court is currently giving out. Consider not taking any course of action. That's the suggestion. But of course, ED will have to come back on this.
Ashmit, doesn't that mean that if the Supreme Court orders the Enforcement Directorate not to take coercive action, that could only mean that they cannot attach the assets, right?
Well, as of now, given that this bench is not the 2G bench, it is averse to passing any final orders, it is averse to passing any orders, and hence has sought a voluntary action from the Enforcement Directorate in terms of not going ahead with passing of its final orders. But that is one issue on which we get clarity by 12:45, or depending on the stance that the Enforcement Directorate takes with respect to taking any coercive action, with respect to passing any final orders.
Ashwin, I have just one clarification that I want to seek from you. The language of this is a little curious. They've asked the ED to consider no coercive action. Does this mean that the ED itself can come back and say that, this is something not acceptable to them?
Well, that is one option that they have. They are toying with the options. ED, we understand, is considering its options at this stage. Given the tone and tenor of the Apex Court, they're considering their options. That is one option that they have, to give a blunt no, to go ahead and to say that we are keen on passing the final orders today. But given the tone and the tenor, that's something to stress on here as far as the Apex Court observations were concerned. And given that this bench is not the 2G bench, there is, of course, the likelihood that the ED might come back at 12:45 with an overall instruction that they will at least stay for an interim period at least until this matter gets taken up by a 2G bench. So that is the position. Those are the options that ED is currently toying with. Of course, more clarity only at 12:45.
When is the next hearing of the 2G bench?
We understand that the 2G bench will assimilate again on Monday. That's the date that Sun TV, I imagine, would be targeting. But for now, as of now, more clarity we'll get them at 12:45. That's when this bench will reassemble, and that's when the ED will come back with its formal response on the direction that it seeks to take going forward in the Sun TV attachment case.
All right. Thank you very much, Ashmit. We will depend on you to, of course, tell us at 12:45 what has been heard from the ED in front of the Supreme Court.